joining us and for preparing this presentation. Over to you.
Thank you so much, leaders, for the opportunity to have this session that we are going to go through this session. We're going to talk about the drills and ceremonies. When we talk about drills and ceremonies, what I want to encourage leaders that are here is that you need to attend Pathfinder programs 75% according to the manual. When you are attending, that is where you are going to learn how to march. That's where you're going to learn how to do these ceremonies. Those pathfinders that are in your church are the very same people that are going to teach you. And I must say to you, some of them are going to laugh at you whenever you are making mistakes and all that. Don't worry about that. Kids will always be kids. But you know your purpose, you want to learn. And you'll be able to learn when you are attending with those kids. So my encouragement is, let's avail ourselves in the Pathfinder clubs when they are practicing, even on Sundays, so that you'll be able to learn. In fact, it's part of your curriculum. It's part of your duty to be there and be able to learn with those kids. Right. So even the ceremonies, take part and don't be a master guide that is going to be a ceremonial master guide where you only appear when there are events in your master guide suit when you have graduated and all that. Be there for the learning purpose. It starts in the local club. Right. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next slide. Our thing we're going to talk about. Please go back a bit, and we're going to talk about 6 things: history of the South African flag, the Pledge of the Allegiance, flag etiquette, flag ceremonies, flag folding, and funeral ceremonies. So some of the things I did not put them into this presentation. I will add few things whenever we're going through so that we can all understand better. Right, let's go to the next slide. Right, on our next slide, it says the flag protocol and ceremonies. Right, so now on this flag protocol and ceremonies, I want us to look at those flags that are there, or the picture that you see. It shows the national flag, and it shows the next flag that is a master guide, then it comes to the Pathfinder, then it comes to the adventure. So now what I want to mention on this part is that you need to understand the part whereby when you are raising your flags, where does the national flag it's supposed to go? So we'll go through that as we move with our presentation, where your national flag is supposed to be and all that. We will go through that so that you can be able to know. Right. The first part that we're going to talk about is the indoor. We're going to the indoor layout. Right. What I want us to know, there is something that we call podium. And when we say podium, that is what some can say it's your pulpit, maybe. Right. So the people that are standing in front, that is where the podium is. So always make sure that the national flag, it sits on your right hand. In other words, it must sit on the right hand of the podium, and it must sit on the left hand of the audience. So when people are sitting here facing the podium, the national flag must be on the left. When we are sitting on the podium, facing the audience, the national flag must be on the right. That is very important. That is very key. Right. And then what follows after that, it doesn't matter. You can have all your flags on the right-hand side, but when they are on the right-hand side, that means the national must be on the far right. I hope people, they understand that. Or you can even maybe divide your flags, have your national flag on its own, like the picture that it's here. Your national flag is standing on its own on the right. And then on the left, you have your, you will see there's a Pathfinder and an Adventurer flag. There's nothing wrong about it, but about that. But what is important is the national flag must always be on the right-hand side of the podium, right? So when it's like that, the other thing that I want to mention when we go, let's go to the next slide. Right. Probably maybe before I mention this, when we do the flag raising on the first picture that I sent, that you saw, you also need to determine where your officers are going to stand and where the rest of the parade, your pathfinders and master guides, are going to stand. So the way they are standing, then it means the national flag must be on their right side. Always, where they will be standing as officers, the national flag must be on their right. And then the other thing that I want to mention is that when now you are doing your flag raising, you must always face the national flag. When the flag is being raised going up, everyone must turn, do whatever turns that you are doing, and face the national flag. The national flag must not be raised while it's behind you. It must be raised while you are looking at the flag. In other words, everyone must look and see when the flags go up. I hope that one is clear. Right, let's come to this one. It says the history of the South African flag. And on the history of the South African flag, the first point, yeah, you see when you're using the phone, the words, they become too small. The first point, it says in 1910-12, a British red ensign with the shield of the coat of arms of the Union of South Africa. Right. So now 1910 to 1912, that is the first one on top. That was how the flag of South Africa was, because that time, that is where the British were the ones that were doing everything. They took over and they were doing everything. When you come to 1912 and 1928, the British red ensign with the shield of the coat of arms of the Union of South Africa on a white lapel. They had to change it a little bit. Under the coat of arms, they had to put a white background, but the other colors were still the same and all that. Right. And then the flag of South Africa, 1928 to 1994, if you see there, still the coat of arms were there. And then on top, you will see there was a yellow, you have your white, and you have your royal blue at the bottom. This is how the flag looked alike. And after 1994 until present today, two horizontal of chill red top and blue bottom with a black triangle at the hoist over all the green horizontal wall. So this is how our flag looks. And on this part, as you see the national flag, the way it's standing there, whenever you are using your flag, it's either flag raising or you are using your procession, even marching on the street or whatever that you do when you're carrying this flag, you must make sure that the red part is always on top. That is what is important. The red part must always be on top. If you see your red at the bottom, then you must know that your flag is upside down. So this is how the flag is supposed to stand. All right, let's go to the next one. So now here, it's explaining the flags and the colors of our national flag. It's very important for us to know this. When you go to the curriculum, from Friend Companion, you'll find that they study more about the national flag. So we need to know the meaning of the colors. And the person that designed this flag, it's Herald Frederick Browell in 1994. He designed this flag. And the black, yellow, green first colors that you see there on top, they are representing the different, probably you can say, incorporating into SA national flags in the 19th century, featuring on the flags of liberation movements such as the ANC, IFP, and PSC. So now they were trying to feature those movements that were bringing, probably that we can say probably peace, or they were bringing liberation into the country. So that's why they had to put those. Right. So when you go to the bottom, you find there's red, white, blue flags of the old Transvaal. So they also had to put those colors, even though it was the old Transvaal colors, as well as the Dutch British Union flag and all that. I mean, they to cooperate those flags. So, in other words, the way this flag was put in, it was a sign, or it was a saying that says, we are all united and we are all under one umbrella. If we all know that what happened to South Africa before 1994 and what is happening after 1994, right? I think on this one we can move and pass, and we go to the next slide. All right. Now, when we come to the next slide, there's something here that I want us to talk about. It says, pledge an allegiance to the South African flag and the Bible. You know, before we can talk about this pledge to the allegiance, I want to say, as I mentioned, that the flag it comes first of South Africa. So now we have a pledge that says, I pledge allegiance to the flag and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and to the freedom for which it stands, one nation united in its diversity, with quality of life for all. The fact that we carry the national flag when we do our procession, the fact that we raise the national flag when we do our parade, we need to honor this pledge, the pledge and the allegiance to the flag of South Africa. Normally, during the procession or during the parade commander or whoever is conducting the procession will probably come in and say, let's recite the Pathfinder pledge, let's recite the Adventurer pledge, and the pledge, the aim, and the motto, and all that. And today, I want to say to all of us, we normally forget the pledge allegiance to pledge allegiance to the flag and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. When we raise that flag, we are honor bound to pledge to that flag, because we cannot raise our Pathfinder flag, our Adventurer flag, without having this flag. We need to be able, whenever you start doing the pledge, make sure you also do the pledge, the allegiance to the flag and the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Right. On the other side, we have the pledge to the Bible that said, I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet and light unto my path, and I will hide its words in my heart, that I might not sin against God. And I want to say to all of us as master guides in training, and leaders who are here, the Pathfinder, the pathfindering, if I can put it that way, that we are doing, it's a program that most of the things were adopted from Boy Scouts. But when they were adopted from Boy Scouts, in our church, when the Pathfinder was introduced, the three angels message was put in.
And we find the three angels message in the Bible. And all that it combines together, and that is why we pledge allegiance to the Bible. Sometimes it will be nice whenever, probably when you have your Pathfinder Day, your Bible. This is something that we used to do when even we were young. Even today, we still continue to do that, whereby when the preacher of the day, you will have a Pathfinder that is going to march, go forward. When they get in front, that Pathfinder is carrying the Bible, and that Bible belongs to the preacher of the day. And the Pathfinder will hand that Bible to the preacher. After handing the Bible to the preacher, and then the Pathfinder will recite the pledge by saying, "I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word." Right. This is some of the things that makes the ministry interesting and all that. Right. Let's go to the next one. Right. The next slide, it talks about the national anthem, and that says that we need to know our national anthem. And our national anthem, it's a prayer. It's a prayer that when you translate it, when you say, "God bless Africa, lift her horn on high, hear our prayers. God bless us. Who are your people? God save our nation. End the wars and the strife, South Africa, South Africa. Ringing out from our blue heavens, from our deep seas, breaking round over everlasting mountains where the echoing cracks around sounds the calling to come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land." When we sing this national flag, we are praying, and we need to be able to know and understand our national flag. I know most of us, when it comes to the Afrikaans part, it's always difficult to sing there. But I always like what pathfinders and adventurers they do when they are singing, especially the adventurers. When they sing the national flag, you can tell they are singing from their hearts, because they'll be able to say each and every word that is there. And as a master guide in training, if you find yourself that you are not able to sing the national anthem, don't worry, go to those adventurers, ask them to teach you. They'll be able to teach you. Even they will ask them to help you pronounce those words in Afrikaans. I mean, they'll be happy also to say, "I'm teaching an older person." I mean, there's nothing wrong about that. But all in all, what I'm saying is we need to know the national anthem. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. Right, to the next slide. This is what I put here on the next slide. This next slide, it talks about, we have spoken about the national anthem. Now we come to our flags. And on our flags, I will start at the bottom. At the bottom, we have our SDA flag. There's something that I want us to take note of here. If you look at the color of the logo inside there, the way you see, these are our flags. Our SDA flag, it's white, and it has got the church emblem in the middle. I know most of us, we know the church emblem that was having different colors. Where it shows those three angels messages, you'll find that there was something like green and yellow. But now, after whatever that has been done at GC session and under communication, then they came with a decision that they must have one color. So in other words, on this one, you can be able to have that blue color, or it can be plain black. There's nothing wrong about that. Right. So now each and every person, every church, whenever you have your flag, you need also to have your church flag, because we belong to a church and we need to have the flag, the church flag. And the flags that I'm going to talk about is the three flags on top. The first one, which is your adventurer flag, and this is how it looks. That adventurer flag, whereby it's a journey where parents and children actively fellowship together with Jesus Christ, where Jesus is the core foundation. And children, when they're engaging with nature and they learn more, this is what adventure is all about. And that is how the flag looks. I know most of the churches, they've got the old one, and we pray that we change and we try to be able to use to the current flag that we have. The next flag is the common flag, the Pathfinder flag. And the next one is the Master Guide flag that most of us were under the Master Guide in training. Right. There's a question that most of the people, they always ask, and probably maybe there's someone who's listening to me now, and maybe you have that question. I will say the question and then probably answer you. The question is, sometimes people, they will ask why whenever we raise the flags or when we carry the flags, the national flag comes first. After that, then you have your Pathfinder flag, and then you have your adventure flag, and why it's supposed to follow in that line. The answer is the national flag comes first because that is the adequate of all the country flags. For example, if you go to SID, where there are more than 10 countries that are represented that are under SID, you will find that in the middle, in the center, the flag that stands on the middle pole and it stands higher than other flags is the South African flag. The reason being, SIT offices are in South Africa. Before they were in South Africa, they were in Zimbabwe. So now if you did go there where the SIT was, probably you were going to see that the Zimbabwe flag was raised higher because it was the hosting country. So now always the national flag comes first. But now to the question that, or whatever that I've been saying, we normally answer by saying the club that came first is the one that normally comes first. And we all know that pathfindering, this year we are celebrating 75 years. And Pathfinder is older than Adventure. That is why we always put the Pathfinder flag before the Adventure. We'll be having the Adventurer World Day. So when you check the countdown that it's put there, you'll find that the years are a bit different. Right. I'm not going to say anything about the other ones flags. Those are for the senior youth, but today we're only concentrating on the 3 flags that we have there. Thank you. Let's move to the next slide. When we come to the next slide, it says, treat your flag with respect. This is very important. The first point that I want to bring to us, it says, the flags must never be allowed to touch the ground or the floor. When you're carrying your flag, when it's being hosted on a pole, or whenever you are carrying your flag, you are going to raise it, or whenever you are raising your flag, and then now you find that there's some mistakes or whatever, try by all means not to put your flag on the floor, or try by all means that the flag must not touch the floor. That's the first point. Be used as a tablecloth or draped in front of a platform. I always see people during the investitures, Pathfinder inductions, they will take the Pathfinder flag and the Adventure flag and they want to decorate with a flag and they will put it on the table and then it becomes a tablecloth. That is not allowed. The flag must be hosted on a pole, like on the picture that I showed you first, where your national flag was on the right and the Adventure and the Pathfinder flag was on the left. If you don't have poles, you need to get poles. Your church must order poles, get poles, so that you'll be able to use the flag in the right way. Go and buy material to decorate and do the way you want, but do not put the national flag, the Pathfinder flag, the Adventurer flag, the Master Guide flag on top of the table as your tablecloth. The other point, it says be used to cover a statue, a cornerstone, or at an unveiling ceremony. I mean, most of us, we don't do those things, so we don't need to use the flag. And be used to start and finish any competition, race or similar. I remember sometime there's a friend of mine who always does this comrade marathon, and He asked for a flag from me. I did not know what he was going to do with the flag. But when I was sitting watching on TV, I saw him then running, and he wrapped himself with the flag and all that. Then I was like, no man, if I knew I wasn't going to give him the flag, because now he's running there and he's wrapping himself with the flag for Pathfinder and all that, which is something that to him probably wanted for us to know which is an Adventist. But by that time there was no this Adventist Athletics Club. But now I would say join the Adventist Athletics Club if you want us to know that you're an Adventist when you're running Comrades Marathon. Instead of you carrying the flag there, then you are wrapping with the flag around yourself and all that. Right. The other one, it says be manufactured or used as a undercloth, bath or floor mat or any similar demeaning application. So those things are demeaning the application of the flags, and also be used for any commercial advertising in a manner that will distort or show disrespect to the flag. Right. If you are someone who's passionate about these things, if you remember during 2010, during the World Cup, the South African flag was misused. Many people, they were just carrying the flag the way they want. They were doing so many things the way what they want with the national flag. And that was, that was a demolition or demeaning application when it comes to the flag. So my encouragement is, let's try by all means we treat the flag with respect. Right, let's come to the next slide. And the next slide, it says traditional rules for handling the flags. The flag should always be hoisted at the start of the working day and be lowered again before or at sunset. This point here, it says, when you start your Pathfinder day, the first program that you do is flag raising. And according to the South African law, when it comes to the flag must be raised before 8 o'clock. Before 8 o'clock. So in other words, you cannot raise the national flag around 10, 11. You need to raise the flag before 8. So when it's your Pathfinder day, plan with your Pathfinders so that they can come and raise the flag early in the morning. When it's an adventurous day, plan with your adventurers so that they can come early and you raise your adventurer flag. I know that the adventurers are not marching. So whenever they are raising their flag, they are not going to march. They will walk in a nice, dignified manner, and they will go there to the pole and they will raise their flag, because if we have the flag and we need to raise that flag. Even during the procession, when it's an adventurous day, they don't need to march. They will carry the flag and just walk, go in front, stand there, and then the commander, whoever, then they will say, let's sing the adventurer song, and they post their flag in a very dignified manner. But the point that I was saying here, it's very important that the flag must be raised early in the morning, and that will mean your last program of the day, it will be flag lowering. And according to the South African manual for the flags, it says that the flag must not be lowered after sunset. In other words, the flag must be lowered during ceremony in progress. He or should come to a halt and stand respectful to attention for a duration. If a halt is worn, it should be removed. If a hat is worn, it should be removed, and a right hand should be placed over the heart in salute and all. You see now, on this part here, when we visit our Pathfinder drill manual, it says something that is different and all that. When you visit the Constitution of South Africa, it will tell you that the president of the country is the only one that is supposed to put the hand on his heart when we're saluting. And also there's so many of these things. But the point here that I'm bringing is that whenever you see soldiers raising flags or whenever you see any company raising flags, just turn it attention and you respect that moment. Right. The flag should never be depicted, displayed, or flown out upside down. I've mentioned that. And that traditional is sign of surrender. If you are going to put your flag upside down, it means that this is a sign of surrender. Right. The last one, it says when displayed horizontal, the black triangle should be at your left and the red band uppermost. I think this one is straightforward. Right. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, the traditional rules for hanging the flag: when draped vertical, the flag triangle must be uppermost and the red band to your left, as it's shown on the flag of South Africa that you see on your far right. It is also insulting to display the flag in a flayed or dirty state, and the flag may never be defaced by placing slogans or any writing or design direct on the field of the flag. In other words, we cannot write anything on this flag. The way it is, it's supposed to be like that. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. It says here, correct display of the flag. When two flags are fully spread out horizontal on a wall behind the podium, their hosts should be towards each other with the red stripes uppermost. In other words, the red part must always be on the top. When two national flags are displayed on crossed staffs, the hosts must be towards each other and the flags must be fully spread away, like what it shows on the picture. Normally, you will find this on the offices, probably. Even if you come to my office, you'll be able to see this. I normally display my flags on the table and all that. If you go to government offices, you'll be able to see. For example, let's say it's an embassy from the US. You'll find that there is a national flag for the US and the national flag for South Africa, maybe on the table. They'll be able to cross them like that so that they display them like that. That is the correct way to display those flags. Now, let's move on to the next one. Right. It says here in companies with other national flags. So now here it talks about that when you have a company, right, when the national flag is flown outdoors in companies with the national flag of other countries, the following rules they do apply. It must always occupy the position of honor. In other words, this means it must be the flag that is flown furthest to the right and observers to the left, as I mentioned. Of all the flags on display, with the flags of other countries being arranged alphabetically, like when you go to SID, probably you'll know what Angola will be the first flag because the alphabetically Angola starts. Then probably maybe your Zimbabwe will be the last one because that is your Z. So now the way they will raise them, it's gonna be according to the names. Like I had to put it here where you have your South Africa, Angola, Essentials Island, Botswana, Comoro Islands, Lesotho, Madagascar, until the last one, right? And all the flags should be approximately the same size, with no flag being larger than the South African flag. In other words, if you want a larger flag, the SA flag must be the larger one, and then the other ones can be smaller. It's still fine. And all the flags should be, each country's flag should be on a separate pole, with no national flag being flown on top of another, from the same pole. Right. Thank you. I think we can move on to the next one. And here it says displaying the flags indoor. This is a clear picture from the one that I was showing you, where you can see clearly that this is how you're supposed to display your flag on indoors. Right, let's go to the next one. Next one, it talks about parade and ceremonies. Right. The flag, when carried in a procession or parade, or with another flag or flags should be on the marching right or alone in the front. Like as you see here, there's a national flag of South Africa in front, and then other flags are at the bottom. I mean, not at the bottom, I mean, they are in the middle, right? And then also, if you have two of these flags, that will mean the other flag must be at the back. So these other flags, they must be in the middle, right? If you are using three flags, and now when there are three flags, and then you realize that you want to march all of you at the same time, same pace, and you want to march on one line in front, then make sure that your national flag, it always matches on the right side. Right, thank you. Let's go to the next one. Here we coming to a part that says half-masting. And the South African flag should be half-mast as a sign of mourning only on instruction from the president of the country, who will also give a date ending the mourning period. So normally this time when there's this half-masting, it's the time when the president of the country says that we need to do the half-mast for a certain period of a time. So if your Pathfinder Day or your Adventurer Day falls in between those times, you need to raise your flag half-mast. And this is how I'm going to say, please listen to what I'll say now. When you're raising your flag half-mast, the way you raise it, your flag must go up and it must touch the top part of the pole. After touching the top part of the pole, then you lower your flag, it comes halfway the pole. That is how you raise your flag half-mast. I hope that one is clear. Flag must go up all the way. When it gets up, then it comes down, right? It comes down to the half-past pole. Right, now we come to the flag disposal. When no longer in a fit condition to be used, a flag should be disposed of in a dignified manner, preferable by burning it. Right. In some places, you'll find that whenever people are angry about whatever country and all that, they will take videos and pictures burning a flag. It's not right. Sometimes I always see whenever someone is angry, that Kaizer Chiefs is not winning trophies for a long time and all that, then they will take a video burning the flag and showing people that they are burning the flag for Kaizer Chiefs and all that. That is not right, because now you are showing anger towards the organization, which is not something that we are promoting here. But when your flag is old and all that, take it. If you check here on this picture that I put here, it's a bowel and there's fire there and the flag is being thrown inside and it's in a dignified manner. Right, let's go to the next slide. These flag ceremonies are very often part of a larger ceremonies. They are also used to open and close a group on AYM meetings, Pathfinder Fair or Pathfinder Camporees or Adventurous Days, induction ceremonies, investitures. So if you listen here, these ceremonies, they are part of our larger ceremonies. The flag ceremonies are part of our larger ceremonies. In other words, the flag raising, it's part of your camporee. The flag lowering is part of your Pathfinder Fair. The flag raising is part of your Adventurous Day. And the flag raising can also be part of your Adventurous Fun Day. induction ceremonies or investitures, the way we call them, right? And learning about the proper way to handle the flags, especially the South African flag, will serve as an embarrassment of posting the flags upside down. Like I was saying in the beginning, that you need to go to your churches, to your Pathfinder clubs, your adventurer clubs, so that you can learn. When you are learning, you will be able to know how to fold the flag, carry the flags, and then when it's a master guide day or a master guide camp retreat, when you are called to come and do such things, you will be able to do them with, you'll be I can put it this by saying you'll have confidence because you'll be doing something that you know, right? And also at the moment, few people can conduct flag ceremonies commands, and some they don't do it properly. So this presentation will help master guides and the directors, instructors, and commanders to properly conduct their ceremonies in the proper manner, right? Let's come to the next one. Okay, flag ceremonies and guidelines. Keep it simple. Yeah. The first one, it says keep it simple. Emphasis should be on respect for the flag rather than on the commands or the techniques. You need to ask the questions when you are planning. These are the following questions that you can ask when you are planning these programs. Who will carry the flag? Who will be the color bearer or color guard? And then I also put white gloves there. Are we wearing white gloves and all that? Right. And then what songs will be sung? Who will sound the pitch and start the songs? You see on this one, I want to plead with us and we say, whenever we're going to start the national anthem, Pathfinder song and all that, the officers that are going in front are the ones that they normally make the parade to be haphazard. First thing they talk, second thing, this one will start the song, and then the other one will realize the song is not starting in a right way, and they will also start the song while it's already the song is moving. When you're planning your program, plan who is going to be starting the songs for us. That is very important. If that person starts the song and the song is not right, then it means we need to come back and try to do it better so that it doesn't disturb anyone. There's nothing wrong about starting afresh when we realize that the way we started this song, it wasn't in a good way. Right. The other point would be, will the pledge of the allegiance to the flag and the Bible be included? Who will say those, or who's going to read? There's nothing wrong giving an adventurer a piece of paper to say, please come and read. There's nothing wrong about that. And after the pledges of allegiance, will the pledge and the law be said for Pathfinder Adventure? Right. In what order will the parts of the ceremonies take place? And when will the group practice? And where will the flags be placed at the end of the ceremony? In other words, here, I'm trying to say we need to plan. We need to prepare for flag raising, flag lowering, procession, and all those things. We must know who's doing what and who's going to do what and who's going to say what, at what time, and all that. And then when I'm coming to the first point that says, keep it simple. According to the Pathfinder manual, flag raising is supposed to be 15 minutes. Not more than that. Unless in your flag raising, you are having probably your Vesper, then probably you will add some time. Then you also need to speak to whoever will be preaching during the flag raising or flag lowering. They mustn't be long because people are standing and they can't stand for a long time. Some of them, they've got tushugela. Some of them, they've got whatever different diseases and sicknesses and all that, but they will be standing there. Make sure that you keep it simple and straightforward. Right, let's move to the next one. The next one, it says terminology used in the flag ceremony. Terms used in a flag ceremony. You have your color bearer or your flag bearer is the person who carries the flag. You know, during your procession on Sabbath, the person that carries the flags, or even when we are marching in the street during the community service, the person that carries the flags, we call those people the color bearers. There is one color bearer for each flag used in the ceremony. If you have 3 flags, you're going to have 3 color bearers. Right. And then we have the color guard. The color guard is a team that guards those flags. Right. So now the color guard is a team that guards those flags. Right. And then we have the color party, is the group of color bearers and color guards who partake in an outdoor flag raising and flag lowering. And then you have the commander in charge, or the caller, announces or calls each part of the ceremony. In other words, your commander in charge is the one who's in charge of the parade. Sometimes maybe we can say the parade commander. It's still fine. Right. Now let's go to the next one. And as we're going to the next slide, I want to say these terminologies, this is how they've been put in our Pathfinder drill manual from the SIT. All right. Opening flag posting ceremony. Pathfinders attention, this signal. All Pathfinders to stand at attention. With all audience, please rise. This signal everyone to stand at attention so that everyone can focus on that particular program. And the color guards, they advance going forward, and it signals the color bearers to advance with the flags. In other words, they are going forward, and with the SA flag bearer leading. This one I want to say all the time, the national flag must lead. It must be in front. Even when you're coming out of your program or when you're coming out of church, don't come out with the adventure flag because you're saying the adventure flag is the one that went in last. No, the national flag must always be in front. Present arms, those on uniform with the hats with salute, and others without hats will place their right hand on their hearts. This is what the SIT drill manual is saying. But I want to say to us, at the end, there's a picture that I'm going to show you, because here we are discussing as the Trans-Orient Conference, and I once spoke to the pastor also about this thing by saying that, you know, sometimes I pray and wish that people can come to parade in full attire. When you are in full attire or in full uniform, it will make you to be able for us to parade according the way we're supposed to parade. In other words, with our hand salute. Right. And then I think let's move to the next slide. Some of these things they are repeating. Here it says Master Guide, color bearer, post the Master Guide flag as we sing the Master Guide song. Here I'm just saying things that we know that we normally do. When we have your Master Guide flag, you need to post that Master Guide flag and sing the song and be able to feel that also Master Guides are here. And the Pathfinder color bearer also will post the Pathfinder flag, singing the Pathfinder song and going in front in the podium and post those flags, honoring and saluting, and then you return back to attention. So in other words, here it says that after you post your flag, you must salute to the flag, turn back and you return. And then please come join me in reciting the pledge of the allegiance to the South African flag and the pledge allegiance to the Bible. And please join me in reciting the Pathfinder law and the pledge that is optional, and order arms, all arms. And then this is what we normally do during the procession on a Sabbath Pathfinder Adventurer Day. It just is those few things that I was highlighting on this. Right. Let's move to the next one. The next one, it says flag retrieving ceremony, where the color guard retrieve the colors, the color bearers remove the flags from the stands. All flags can be retrieved all at once, except the SA flag. The SA flag must be removed last. So the person that is in charge of that must be able to stand and maybe allow all the flags to be able to be removed first, and then the national flag must remain, and then it must be removed last. And the color guard will carry the flags at the back. Let's go back to the slide, the same slide. Right, the color guards will carry the flags to the back of the room, carries the folded flags to appropriate place. The SA flag bearer to lead the procession again. And the orders, thank you for joining us. You are all dismissed. It's the normal procession that we do during our Pathfinder and our Adventurer Day. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. Flag. This is the basic flag outdoor ceremony commands. Flag raising ceremony, Pathfinder's attention, the signal to all Pathfinders to stand. Color parties advance. In other words, the color parties are supposed to march going forward. And when they are marching going forward, they are proceeding probably to the poles. And here it says present arms, those on uniform with the hats on. See that part of the hats on, it comes again. In other words, when you are wearing uniform, you must have your hat. In other words, you must have your forage hat on so that you'll be able to present your arms. And it brings that dignified whenever we do that. Right. And the color guards raise the colors. South Africa flag must be raised first and raised quickly and should not reach the top before the anthem ends. On this part, this is what I'm trying to say here is the song, when we sing the national anthem, because it's Sigelele Africa, the last word that it's on the national anthem is in our land. So when we say in our land, then the national flag must be on the top. So whoever is raising the flag must move with the song. Don't rush. Because we need to sing the national anthem and we finish the national anthem. Don't rush. Take your time because the song is still moving. But now as the song is moving, you are also singing. And when you are singing, you are able also to know I am almost there. Whenever we sing the last word, then the flag touches the top part. Right. I hope that one is clear. So that's how, in other words, you move as slowly as possible until you finish with the song. Right. And also the other point will say the color bearer raise the colors. They raise the colors. The South Africa flag must be raised first. And also other flags are tied to the handle ready to be raised before the parade begins. On the last part, this is what I'm saying here, that you can go and fold your Pathfinder Adventure Master Guide flag onto the pole and wait for the time for the commander to say we are going to raise the Pathfinder flag now. But when it comes to the national flag, it becomes a different story, whereby the national flag, normally it's being collected by whoever is raising that flag to the officers, and they need to know how to tie the knots and all that, and they raise the national flag going up in that way. When it comes to these other flags, even if you don't collect them from the officers, you put them up there and they are ready to be raised. It's also something that is good, right? Let's go to the next one, and let's remember this. what we do on outside when we are raising flag. This is flag raising ceremony. South Africa color bearer raise the South Africa flag and the national anthem, and come with the master guide bearer, your pathfinder bearer. You have your pathfinder song, order arms, color parties. If you have your adventurers, they'll also raise their adventurer flag. So now when we're raising that flag, everyone must pay attention. Like I mentioned before, everyone needs to face the flag. No one must be standing and then the flag is being raised behind your back and all that. Everyone needs to know and see what is happening. Let's go to the next one. Basic flag outdoor ceremony commands. That's your flag lowering ceremony, pathfinder attention, the signal or pathfinder's attention, color party advance. This signals the color party to advance to the flags, and the bearers honor your color. The color bearer salutes to the flags, and then they return to attention. Right. So now your flag lowering, let's go to the next slide. Right. So now on your flag lowering, so the color parties, they also need to march and go to the poles. They stand and they wait for a song for us to sing, and then after singing, then they will lower the flag. After lowering the flag, they need to fold the flag. So what I'm advising here is when they are folding the flag, we can move to the next flag. Remember, we are saying that you need to do your flag lowering as fast as possible, but it must be in a dignified way. Some of the people find that probably because of stage fright, they will be afraid. They will even forget how to fold the flag and all that. So now for people not to concentrate on them, let's move from the adventurer flag and we go to the pathfinder and we start lowering that flag. While these other guys, they are busy folding that other side. Once they are done folding, they'll be able to stand at attention. And once they stand at attention, then they'll be able to wait for, or they will be able to join us on what we'll be currently doing, right? So that at the end, they'll be able to know and hold the flag and wait until the commander probably comes and fetch that flag from them, right? Let's go to the next one. Right, the next one here, it talks about how to fold the flag. Right, can we move to the next slide so that I want people to see? Right, unfortunately, I could not get any picture that shows the flag folding with the South African flag. But what I want to bring us here is that if you check on this flag, at the end, your flag is supposed to remain and it's supposed to stand on a triangle. There's a triangle that you see at the bottom there. That triangle on the top, there is a way of folding the flag, which most of the people, they know. There's a part where it's supposed to come on top, and then you go forward, and then the other one comes in. So if you look at these pictures here going forward, it shows how you're supposed to move. At the end, then you'll be able to have your triangle. And that is very important to know and learn how to fold the flag. Let's come to the next one. And the next one, now we're coming to the guard of honor, funeral ceremonies right here. I know this one, it's a crucial part that most of the people will have questions. I know people have been asking questions, even qualified master cards, they always ask questions on this part. But now we come to say when a person that has been a member of the adventurer, pathfinders, or master guides passes away, it is important to remember not to impose on the family that the pathfinders or master guides will post an honor guard in their honor. In other words, let the family be requested or kindly asked if they would like an honor guard. Never make it a mandatory for pathfinders or master guides to participate. it should be a voluntary act. In other words, here we are trying to say whenever I die, don't come and impose to my family that because Ntandazo has been in this ministry and now we need to do this and this and that. But you need to come in and request from the family. If the family agrees, then we go forward. If the family doesn't agree, let's not force. You must remember that funerals are family programs. The family can choose how they want to bury their own person. We cannot come in there and impose to the family and all that. But we can go there and request, and when we are being given that chance, let's use it in a good way. Right, let's go to the next slide. Right, probably some people, they don't, some, when you present some, they will say, we don't see the presenter. You won't see me because I've been on load shedding, and that is why my video is closed. That's why my video is closed. That's why you can't see me. But we are continuing by saying, color guard, whenever you are given the opportunity to do your procession or do whatever that you do during this funeral part, you need to sit and plan and how you're going to do it, how your pathfinders are going to march, how you're going to carry the coffin and all those things. Plan it. And after planning it, involve the family members so that the family members, they can know what you are going to do. And the Pathfinders parade, all clubs line up and break into two lines. This is some of the things that we normally do. Probably they break into two lines so that the coffin, probably when it arrives, or the hearse, they can march along side by side towards the church or the hall. I mean, that's something that we also normally do. Right, let's go to the next slide. The next one, it says entrance into the hall, entrance into the church, onward Christian soldiers displayed. The color card enters the church hall with the SDA flags in front, master guides, stands in front of the stand flags, and the coffin is then removed from the hearse and carried inside the church or the hall inside, and the master guides, coffin bearers, and the officers and the pastors, they follow to the stage. This is just the basic of what probably when we are given a chance to do that color guard, this is what basic that we have been doing. Right, let's go to the next slide. And then posting of the flags, the commander, and the posting of the flag, starting with the SA flag and all that. Right, on this part, I want to say to us, I've seen in most of the programs when we have funerals, some they prefer that there must be, we don't post the flags, but people must stand carrying the flags, and then we have people marching in to come and exchange with them. But to me, that thing, it brings a disorder, if I can put it that way. Because some people, when they march going in, you'll find which they are marching, it's not right. And while there's a speaker that is standing in front, instead of people concentrating on the speaker, now they are concentrating on the person that is marching, and some of them, they are not marching equally and all that. I would say, let's post our flags, even when it's a funeral. Let's post the flags in front. And we're going to remove those flags whenever we are leaving the church, going to the cemetery, so that we allow the family and the speakers to stand in front, and those who are taking pictures and videos, they have a clear view for them to do that. Right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Most commonly, when a pathfinder dies, you'll find that there will be a flag that will be put on top of the coffin that says this person was a pathfinder in the ministry. And then there's time whereby when we get to the cemetery, you're supposed uh, um, to fold the flag that was put on top of the coffin and all that. There's something that I want to say on this part that says there's nothing wrong to fold the flag before people they leave to the cemetery. Reason being, sometimes you find that not everyone will be able to go to the cemetery. Most people, maybe they will attend the church service. So now when they're attending the church service, before we can leave going to the cemetery, probably you can fold the flag and be able to give the flag to the coffin. But on the other side, we, because of the cost that the flags comes with, one would say maybe a church can have a funeral service flag ceremony of some sort, whereby it's that flag has been designed in a way that it's bigger to cover the coffin, and that flag it's not given to the family, but it's kept for that particular ceremony. And then when it comes to the family, one suggestion will be you take the Pathfinder scarf or the adventurer scarf that this person was using, frame it, put it in a nice frame, and hand over that scarf to the family as a token of appreciation of saying, in the ministry, we thank you for borrowing us your child, and we thank you that your child was part of our program. I came up with this thing during the COVID time, looking at how many people we were losing in our churches. So just imagine this week we're burying someone, a Pathfinder, we buy a flag. Next Sabbath, we bury another Pathfinder, we buy a flag. The other one, we bury a Pathfinder, we buy a flag. It becomes a cost. But when we have one that we keep as part of the flag for those ceremonies, I mean, it will save a lot of cost, and we become creative in a way that says we make something that we can present to the family. Right. Let's come to the next one. Okay, here after the covering of the coffin, and then the coffin, the color bearers, and the dismiss and all that, and with the pathfinders, adventurers, or the flags they come here. Here is just the talk of putting that flag on the coffin, which I know at the end of this presentation, some people will ask, why are we putting that flag on top of the coffin? And probably the answer will be, it's because this person has been in the ministry. He was a soldier like us, and it's how we want to honor this person by doing that. So once we put the flag on top of the coffin, the other thing will be, don't put any flowers, don't put anything on top of the flag. Like what we said in the beginning, that once you make it as a tablecloth, then you'll be able to put your Bibles and other things. So when you go to the family and you give the layout of your program, if you are going to put the flag on top of the coffin, mention to the family that we will ask you that the flowers must be put probably in front there, down, not on top of the coffin, because we want to put the flag, and explain why to the family, that why can't we put the flags on top, because we can't put anything on top of the flag. Once you put the flag, then which means you are not putting the flowers, right? Okay, let's go forward. I want us to finish in just no time. Now we come to the guard of honor flag rotation. I've spoken about that flag rotation, and I've also suggested on how we can do it. and all that. And also give a caution that says sometimes people want to do it and sometimes it brings disorder. So now if you also feel what it brings disorder, let's post our flags. Let's go to the next slide. All right. On the next slide, it gives the guard's position, the posted guard's position where your adventurer flag it sits, and your pathfinder flag it sits, and then you have your coffin there, and the pathfinder flag can be on the right side, the adventurer can be on the left side. There's nothing wrong about that, but then you are able to post. That is the illustration number 1. Let's go to the next one. And then if you look at this one, it also the guard of honor and the guard's position. While guards are standing at attention, the flags are to be held in a straightward position, downwards manner. It is recommended that the upper classmen of Pathfinder or Ranger, Voyager Guide or Master Guides be used in this capacity because of the length term of standing on attention. So in other words here, probably if you're going to have people standing, you need to have people that they know they can stand at least for a longer time. If someone can't do that, don't use those people, because when they fall in front there, then it becomes something else. Right. Let's go to the next one. Tando, just give me a minute. I need to get my charger and try to charge my phone with this power bank before, because my battery is low now, so that I don't get cut here.
Okay, thank you. No problem. I think we have a few minutes to go, but I think we're almost done, right?
Yeah. Just want to charge this phone. Okay, right. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's go to the next one. I've spoken about the rotation during the service. Let's go to the next one. And then the next one, right, the exiting. In other words, when we exit, our flags must go forward, and then probably the coffin will follow, and then maybe family, the pastors, they follow behind, and then now we're going to the cemetery. Right, the next slide. Right, at the cemetery, there are different ways that we have been doing, whereby in the cemetery, pathfinders, when they arrive, they will stand at a certain position with the hearse, and then they take out the casket. And after taking out the casket, then few people that are going to lift the casket, and they can march with the casket and the flags in front. Probably you have your drums, and you have your officers also that will be marching, whilst the family is sitting and watching the ceremony. And such things, you communicate with these things to the family, so that the family can know what is going to happen. Bangathi bona, we are now leaving our person in the haze whilst we are sitting in the tent, and we don't know what's going to happen that side. Right, let's go to the next one. And on this one, this is your presentation time, whereby the presenter shall kneel down in front of the parents or the next of kin to present whatever that you are presenting. And when you present, they don't just present, at least say a few words to the family, of thanking the family and all that about the person that was part of us. Right, let's go to the next one. Right, here I just wrote a presentation speech. I'm not going to go through the speech. Whenever people they get this, they will be able to read and listen to it. Right, let's go to the next one. Right, here is the ceremony on at the funeral. Before the coffin can go down and all that, you must remember to dismiss everyone who was on parade, dismiss everyone who was marching, so that people can be able to be free. Those who want to go and do whatever, they can be able to do that. Right. Let's go to the next one. I think we are now leaving the funerals. Now let's go to the next one. Right. On this one, I want to say what you need to remember that whichever ceremony is decided upon, the club director must seek final approval from the next of kin prior to the service and should be itemized on the program, and all participants must be ready, state, to proceed with the ceremony. Uniform, grooming must be in the high state of appearance. Practice makes perfect in every respect. So in other words, people must practice, people must be able to wear full uniform, so that, because if the director says we are wearing the uniform, let's wear the uniform and we listen to what the director is saying. If we have any question, ask the questions and get clarification, so that whenever you go on with the program, then you will be able to know what you're supposed to do. But in a nutshell is, when you're doing this, you need to prepare and try to do things in an orderly manner. Right. Thank you. Right. Here I said, after this presentation, I want the master guides, club and directors, instructors will be able to conduct opening and closing ceremonies in a proper way, folding the flag in a proper way, and plan and execute proper funeral ceremonies in a dignified manner and respectful manner with enough practice and repetition. They must also know their skills like the back and their hand. They must know these skills of matching like the back of their hands. It will be easy for you to be able to, whenever you know, then you will have confidence. So the reference of most of these things that I was presenting here, it's what you find on your vexillology honor. It's what you find on the history of the flags of South Africa. It's what you find on a flag protocol and ceremonies, and also from the Southern Union Pathfinder ceremonies and the Pathfinder Train Manual from the Southern Africa. So some of these things, they were taken from these books that we have in our ministry. Right. Let's go to the next one. Right. Here it says question and comments. There's a picture that I don't know, maybe when I was sending, there's a picture. Oh yes, there is it here. Right. On this picture, I want to say to all of us here as master guides in training, and those who are leaders in their churches, it's very important for us to have full uniform. And full uniform is supposed to be from head to toes. If you look at these pathfinders that are here, they are wearing their full uniform from head to toes. Their forehead head, their scarf, waggles, the shirts, and the sedge, trousers, skirt, it's full uniform. When everyone is full uniform, it becomes uniformity when we say present arms, salute. we are all saluting at the same time and we are all doing one and the same thing, then it becomes something that it's uniformity. So on this one, I also want to say it's good for people who are going to participate in these events. They must be wearing full uniform, full gear, because when it's winter time, when we are sitting down there and the program is continuing and all that, there's nothing wrong about wearing your jackets and whatever that we are wearing. But if you are asked to come in front and probably say the pledge or the allegiance to the Christian flag, take out your jacket and go in front in full uniform so that you can represent the ministry. Right. Tando, thank you so much. I think for today, this is all that I wanted to bring to the master guides. If there's any questions and anything, then we can entertain that.
Thank you so much for the powerful presentation. May God bless you and Mr. Ramushe. We have a hand, Treasure Nkuna. I'm unmuting you. Please ask.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everyone. I've got a question for Brother Mtandos. I've got two questions actually. Both of them are questions of clarity. My first question is whether there's a difference between color bearers, color guards, and color parties, or is it one and the same thing? Like I'm not sure if that is one and the same thing or there's a difference. And then my second question has to do with ceremonies. I saw there was a comment he made and a slide I saw about the club director getting final approval from I think the relatives or the I don't know, representing relatives or highest relatives regarding the ceremony that they'll do at the cemetery. Shouldn't the club director maybe get those kind of final approvals from the church elder maybe, or from maybe the church pastor, so that the ceremony itself at the cemetery or so forth, it does not appear that master guides are doing their own thing and the church is doing its own thing. So shouldn't the organizing, somewhere there was a slide that said, don't impose, get approval from the family or from the relative itself. Shouldn't that somehow be done through the church or the elders? Or is it ruled that it must be done separately? Thanks.
Okay, let me start with the last question, Fundis. The funeral, is it a church program or it's a family program? Pastor Nkuna, the funeral, is it a church program or it's a family program?
All right, thanks. Sorry, I was muted, so I could not respond. So it's a family program, except when it comes to the church. So the family does what it wants to do when they are home, but the moment they go to the church or when it comes to church services, then the family gives it over to the church and gets guidance from the church. That is why the church would be the one that says, when we read the obituary, it's usually the elder or the MC that says we don't stand, or we do stand, or is it allowed or is it not allowed? That's my impression of funerals.
Okay. When it comes to the ministry, the guard of honor and all that, it's something that, remember, when it's funerals, you find which not all family members are Adventist. They know what we do and all that. So now, the advice would to be the family must know what is going to happen. Because normally when we start the program here, guard of honor procession, it starts at home. We go in the morning there and be able to put the flag and carry the coffin with the color, with the coffin bearers and all that. So the guidance that has been there, it's the family also must approve for us to do that. What if the family doesn't want this to happen? Because even if the elders can say, yes, we can do, but the family will come in and say, no, no, no. This person was in the Pathfinder wearing the uniform, but with funeral, we don't want this to happen. We cannot say no to that. We will need to respect what the family is saying. So the other thing, the director was elected by the church to represent the club. So the reason why I was mentioning Guti, the director is the one that goes there, because the director understands. You will find that the director understands the process or the procedure that is going to be done by the pathfinders more than the elder or more than the pastor. And the director will be able to explain to the family on how the program is going to be, or how or when the pathfinders can come in and all that. And by also saying, these programs, when we do them, the pastor also and the elders also, they need to be involved. We cannot do them as pathfinders alone, because the pastor is the one that is conducting the funeral, and the elders also, they are taking part in the funeral. So all people, they need to be involved in this part. It doesn't mean Uguchi, whenever the family or says it can be done, it means that the pastors and elders, they don't have a say on this. They do have a say. And what I have seen is whenever it has been agreed, pastors come, some of the pastors, they come wearing uniform also. And the elders also come wearing uniform, those who have the uniform, to show that we are all in sync, in one accord. Right.
Okay.
And then when I come to your first question, on your first question, there's a difference between a color guard, a color guard and a flag bearer. A flag bearer is a person that carries the flag. In other words, it says flag bearer, then is the person that carries the flag. So you only carry the flag. But now, a color guard is the person that commands those flag bearers. In other words, it's a person that gives the command to those people who are carrying the flags, right? And then the other thing that I want to mention, maybe that will make you understand, is when you're conducting the flag raising and flag lowering, there is a terminology for that. When you do a procession, there is also another terminology for that. For example, when we do procession, those who are crazy, those who are going to raise flags, friends, that those terminologies. I know it's a bit tricky, but there is a difference. They are not all the same. Even the duties that they are doing, they are not all the same.
Yeah. Thank you,
I
sir.
hope I've answered. Yeah.
Yes, I'm covered. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. I'll give over to 010230.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Sabbath. Mine is a clarity-seeking question. When it comes to the use of the flags on the funeral procession, what I want to know is what happens if the deceased belonged to two organizations? For instance, maybe he or she was a pathfinder and he or she also belongs to another organization, which might be maybe from the school or any other organization, and both organizations are rendered this opportunity to partake on the funeral procession, and they both have flags. What happened to the covering of the coffin with the flags? Do the organizations discuss and maybe put or cover half the coffin, or what is our position as the pathfinders in that regard? Thank you.
Okay. I think this brings us back to the point that says it's very important to not to impose things to the family. When you go there and ask for permission to the family will be able to let you know that this person was also part of the Boy Scouts. And the Boy Scouts, they've got flags. So now it means, Uguti, the people who are organizing the funeral and those who have been given a task to perform whatever duties that they are going to perform, then they need to sit and discuss how they're planning this program. Remember, it's one person that has been involved in different things, and all parties want to do something. So they need to come, sit down and plan together, work together so that the program can be fulfilled. And also on that part, the advice that I would give is give other people a chance also to do something. For example, if maybe we are marching inside the church, pathfinders can carry the coffin in, and then when we march out, the Boy Scouts can carry the coffin outside. So we need to work together. We must not pull. And we say, no, this one was a pathfinder. He was a pathfinder and he was also a Boy Scout. So in this manner, we need to work together on this one. That's what I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Fungi?
Hello.
Okay.
Happy Sabbath.
Hello. Happy Sabbath.
Yes, I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks a lot to the presenter. And I'm glad that he alluded to the flag of South Africa, that only the president, have a certain posture and everybody should be in attention. I'm just, requiring that, going forward, the church should be made to understand, because I have been worried seeing everybody, like in a salute position, and as yet is for only the state president. And besides, if we were to have MK veterans who were attending church, they're very passionate about how we do their things. They would stand and interrupt the whole procession. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
comment. So I'll give it over to Ayanda and then El Ngwenya. I see TOC as well. Okay, let's start with TOC. And then we'll go to Ayanda and El Ngwenya. After El Ngwenya, I think this will be the last hand.
Who is TOC?
Thank you
Pastor
so much.
Rambau.
I'm not TOC, I'm Rambau here. And just to assist the colleague of mine, Pastor Nkuna, who raised a question. As much as we do these things as a department, we are not higher than the church. If the family says the church must conduct the funeral, we know the leaders in the church, we have the pastors, we have the elders. It's not a sin for the youth department to ask that permission via the elders, so that as they interact with the family, they go and ask permission to say, from our youth department, this is what we wish to do, because this person was a master guide, this person was involved in the youth ministry. And we also have to give our elders, our pastors, full respect, even on the day of the funeral. If they don't have a uniform, let's have an extra scarf there so that they become part of whatever that we are doing on the day. Let's not sideline them and say you don't know anything. That is not what we teach in the youth ministry. We are asking that when the church says, the family says, the church takes over, and then we have that hierarchy in the church. Let's also respect the hierarchy of the church. Even though the elders, they may know nothing, but let's respect them. Thank you.
Thank you, Fu. Over to you, Ayanda. I see there's two more hands. El Guenya, then Prevail, and Nomalungelo will be the last hand. Ayanda, are you there?
Oh, okay. Yebo, Sanbonani. Um, yes, okay. Well, Umfundisi said what I wanted to say, Guti. We need to also respect the higher body of the church. So that's why I'm sorted with it. Okay, I need clarity on the flags. Ngizwe ukhuluma about ama-flags South Africa is being the highest, must be the highest flag amongst the other countries. So I wanted a clarity on that because ngiyakuzwa uthi it's because SID and SIU they are in South Africa. So I wanted to be sure, like let's say we're having a camporee in Namibia and they are the host. So and it's an SAU camporee. Well, yeah, SAU camporee. So but it's hosted in Namibia. So in that case, does the South African flag still remains the highest flag being posted on the being hosted on the pole, and then the other flags are half mast? That's my question. I just want clarity on that if ngizwe kahle na.
The highest is the hosting.
Okay.
I hope I've answered you.
Okay, yeah, no, ngiyabonga.
I think South Africa was an example.
I even
Because
mentioned Uguti SID offices were in Zimbabwe before.
yes,
And
yes,
Zimbabwe was their flag was the one that was always high
was
because the offices are in Zimbabwe.
yeah.
And them being in Zimbabwe, it doesn't mean Uguti when the SID camporee goes to Zambia, then the Zimbabwe flag must be high. The question is, we having we having the SIT camporee in Zambia. Who is hosting? Is it Zimbabwe or Zambia? So it will be Zambia. So those who are going to Namibia for the SAU program, when they get to Namibia, there is no South Africa flag that is going to go in front. It's the Namibia flag that must go in front because Namibia is hosting the program, even though the offices of SAU are in South Africa.
Clear, thank you. El Ngwenya, and then Prevail, then Nomalungelo. That will be the last hand. El Ngwenya, are you there?
Need to okay, thank you so much for the presentation. The first comment that I have regards to all the flags in churches.
You're not here, Mr. El Ngwenya. We are breaking.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
You keep on breaking, sir.
Can he type the message?
Yeah, can you type the message, please? Then we'll read it because we can't hear you.
Maybe we can go to the next person.
All right. Prevail. We'll go to Prevail and then Nomalungelo. Then I'll read the comments. And then we will close.
Thank you very much and happy Sabbath, everybody. I have just two questions. Am I audible? Sorry, host.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I have two questions pertaining to the flags. The first one would be, I think the presenter kept on emphasizing the South African national flag being on its own on the extreme right of the podium. I have seen situations also from my local church where we have one flag stand for all the flags. So is that wrong, such that we must discard and find maybe a stand where the South African national flag stands on its own? Because we had a situation where one flag flies higher in the middle, and that's where we would put the SA flag, and the other flags lower, inclining on either side of the one in the center. So I wanted to find out, is that wrong, such that we must have a separate pole that carries the SA flag only? That's my first question. And the last one would be, in instances where national protocol is such that the flag is flying half-mast, maybe on the death of an important person, and happen to run a program on a day where the SA flag is flying half-mast, is it only our SA flag that flies in half-mast, or even all the other flags of the different clubs? Should they also fly half-mast, or it's just for the SA flag? Thank you very much.
Okay, on your first question, I think you missed the point that I mentioned. I remember saying, in case your flags are all on your right hand, the national flag must be on your far right hand. So I was meaning that when you have that stand that has got three flags, your national flag must be on the far right, even though all your flags are on your right. I hope I'm clear. I don't know if I'm answering you on that. Hello?
Prevail, are you there? Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
Thank you very much. Thank you. There are instances, I hear you on that one, but there are instances where, for instance, the design I'm speaking about, the flag in the center is the highest. So would that not matter? Do we just put the SA flag on the far right, even if it inclines lower than the one in the middle?
No, because if you are if you have a pole that is in the middle, automatic your national flag must be in the middle, and it must be higher than other flags. If you go to SID offices, then the South African flag, it's not on the far right. It's in the, and that pole is higher than other flags.
Yeah, I think load shedding is failing us. You are breaking a bit.
When you have master guide flags, there's a need to be in the pole supposed to be put your national flag in the middle. Then your pole for the national flag must be higher than these other two. Put it higher in the then it doesn't go far right, but it stays in the middle, but it must be higher. It must not be on the same level with the pathfinder the adventure. You can put your pathfinder on, then you put your national flag in the mix of those two flags. Once you put it in the mix, same level, the national flag pole. Right. Hello?
I think you're breaking a little bit, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's load shedding. I'm not sure.
what,
Prevail, do you understand?
But I'm answered. Thank you very much. I'm answered on
Are
that
you
one.
answered? Thank you so
what
much.
was the other
Mhm.
question?
The
It's
other second question?
it's when the SA flag is flying half mast under
Oh,
national
okay.
protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
The half mast is for the half mast. It's given by the president of the country, because there is a certain government person that is late. So the national flag is going to fly half mast. But all these other flags, they remain where they are. They don't fly half mast. If you go to business places, corporate places where they put flags, you will see that when it comes to half mast, the national flag will fly half mast, but other flags, they remain where they are. When the national flag flies half mast, it's a sign that says there's someone who is in the government that has been honored by the president of the country, and this person is late. That is why the national flag. If you remember, when I was presenting, I mentioned that when you raising the national flag half mast, the national flag must go high and it must touch the top part of the flag. After that, then you pull it down half mast. And this period, it only happens on the given days that the president is given. After those days, then the flag must go back to its position. In other words, it's a mourning period for the country.
Okay,
Amen.
thank you. I hope it's clear. Let's move on because of time. Nomalungelo.
Yes, yes. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. My question is actually similar to the one that was just being answered now for Ngindawe flags that flies half mast. When I understand about the national flag, but now here is a master guide or a pathfinder adventurer is late. Do we fly our flags at half mast, or are they also always at full mast? That was my question, Lap.
Right. The answer is the national flag. There is a national flag etiquette that operates not only in South Africa, but in all countries. In the pathfindering also, we have an honor that we call vexillology. The vexillology honor, there's a basic and an advanced vexillology honor. When you go through that honor, it's going to tell you that the country has got a constitution and it has got the flag etiquette that it's supposed to be followed, which some of those things that you find in the national flag, we don't have them when it comes to our Pathfinder Adventure flags. Even some companies, for example, if it's for example, let's say ISAFA, like the South African Football Association, they have a flag, but their flag, it doesn't have the flag etiquette that you find on the national flag. So there are things that we don't have as pathfinders and adventurers, which the national flag they do have. For example, the national flag has got a half mast. You go to the Zambia flag, they've got half mast. You go to America, so the vexillology owner will tell you what all the flags of countries, there is somewhere where they combine together, they've got one meaning. So even when it comes to the half mast, it's something that it's done. It's when the
Hold on.
person that is in the government is late. But by doing that, it doesn't mean Uguti when we have a pathfinder or an adventure that is late, we're supposed to raise the adventure flag half mast. It doesn't say that. So our flags, they stay where they are.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. I think this is an interesting topic. From the chat, Non-Togozo says it was a powerful presentation. Thank you. Lots of things were clarified. Sinege says thank you. Velapi says very interesting. So the message is thank you very much, General, for the wonderful presentation. That's basically the summary. Lots of thanks to you. And Treasure, I think Treasure Nkuna is a pastor that was answered as well. So I'm not going to read that. I'm going to take the last one, Umusanje, but let's take the last one, Toka, and then we will close.
But
Good
Tando,
evening.
before you take that one, there's one that is drawing my attention here on the chat.
Yeah.
Elngwenya says the other issue I requested source of reference. I have heard that the flags should never be washed, even though they look dirty. Maybe due to usage, also that they should never be repaired. I need some information on that. On this one, I don't know the source of that. I don't know the source of that. There's nothing wrong about washing the flag. Why must we have a dirty flag? If we're respecting our country flag, does it mean that we must have a flag that is dirty? No. Wash your flag and use of, you see, like there's somewhere in another school where we went for a program, we hired their place to do our program. So when we were raising the flags, the principal comes and asks questions about the flags and all that. And then the principal was like, I respect our country flag. And then I was like, then when I looked at the flag, the country flag that they had, it was dirty, damaged, and all that. Then I had to take the flag that I had, I gave to the principal. I said, Principal, the reason why your flag is damaged is because you raise that flag from January to December. That flag doesn't come down. It stays there, whether it's raining or whatever. All of us, we know, most of the schools, they don't even lower their flags. The flags stay up there even during the night, the flag is there. Then that's where the flag gets dirty and all that. So on this one, I would say your flag must be lowered. Some other schools, they've got a box where whenever you fold your flag, you put the flag inside. You take care of the flag, wash it. If there's a need to iron it, wash it, keep it safe. And there is nothing wrong about that. Probably the person that brought that sentiment that says the flag must not be washed, probably is the same person that will say to you, your wallet must not be washed, because if you wash your wallet, then you are washing the blessings of money that's supposed to come to you. And there's nothing like that. Whether you wash your wallet, you don't wash it. If you have money, you have money. If you don't have money, you don't have money. Yeah, so that one, Tando, is the one that was draw my attention. So that's why I just wanted to
Thank you.
answer on that
Yeah,
one.
Mr. Ngwenya could not, was, okay, thanks for answering. Toka, you're the last one. Do we have an assignment before you speak, Toka? Someone is eager, wants an assignment for this presentation.
The assignment, they must go to their Pathfinder and Adventurer clubs and march. The problem with master guides, when we come to drill and marching, when we come during Tando, when it comes to master guides retreat, when you say master guide, let's march, they don't know how to march. Some of them, they don't want to march, especially those who specialize with Pathfinder. The assignment that I'm giving to everyone who is here, go to your club and learn drill and marching.
All right. Thank you. Toka, you're the last one, please. Oh, and I've unmuted you.
Hi, Chair. Thank you for that. I want to just double down on a question concerning the seniority for practical reasons. Number one, my mom and her sisters were brought into the church through Pathfinders and then subsequently brought the family into the church. And so there was a period of time where they attended Pathfinders but were not Adventist. And our federation, this side, is looking to develop or plant a CPC, Community Pathfinder Club. In the case where you find a bereavement in a family where the child or children are Pathfinders, but no one in the family is a baptized or regular member of the family, do the same thoughts still apply regarding the relationship between pastors, elders, and the club directors when the processions might not be Adventist in any way, shape, or form? It just so happens that the child affiliated. The part of the reason why I'm raising this is just so that I perhaps have your wisdom on how to attend to the case where we reach out to children to bring them into the club, but there's not yet latching on to the church, the Seventh-day Adventist church as yet. Thank you.
When you are asking this question, I'm smiling on my own. Mr. TOC, Pastor Ramba will agree with me on this one. What you are talking about, it's something that happened at Brakpan High School Community Club. I think it was last year. If it's not last year, November, it was in October, whereby one of the Pathfinders in this community school, we lost that Pathfinder. And that Pathfinder is a Pathfinder, but they worship in these charismatic churches. So when we visited the family, the director of the club in the school is an Adventist. So the director highlighted to the family, and they said to the family that your daughter was a Pathfinder. And as Pathfinders, we would love to honor, or we would love to do a guard of honor for your daughter during the funeral. And the family was like, wow, that would be something that it's good, because we don't know. Explain to us what you guys are going to do. So in this case, there are no pastors and there are no elders. It's the director who is in charge of the CPC. And because that CPC is under the federation, the director came to me as the president of the federation, and she told me about this. And after when she told me, the next person that I gave the information, it was Pastor Rambao as the conference director. And I also gave information to Pastor Mamokwa. Pastor Mamokwa is the Israel youth pastor. So what I'm giving you, you can tell that there's a link between the family, the director, our conference director, and and our pastor. So in other words, as the president of the district, I was standing on behalf of the elders to inform our pastor. They agreed. Pastor Ramba was there on that funeral. I was there on the funeral. We conducted what I was presenting today on that funeral, not in an Adventist church, but we conducted it in that same church where this child was worshiping, in that charismatic church. And if I can tell you, during that funeral, the pastor of that church, when we went to the home to start the process, he came to me, he was like, I'm so happy that you guys are here, because I was told about this child. When this child was still alive, coming to our church, the behavior, the way she was doing things, we were told that she joined the Pathfinder Club, and the things that she was taught in the Pathfinder Club, they made this child to behave differently. And the pastor was happy for us that we were there. And during the funeral, I was even given a chance to say a speech on behalf of the Pathfinders. And when I stood there, I only spoke about pathfindering. I did not say anything about Seventh-day Adventist Church. The father of the child came to me, and the father said, I so wish your pathfindering can be introduced in this charismatic church, so that the kids who are here can also learn this pathfindering. So this background that I'm giving you, I'm trying to answer your question. And I'm answering your question with this background that I'm giving you. That once you have the CPC, some few weeks ago, we were talking about the CPC, explaining how the CPC it's supposed to work, how to launch the CPC and all that. And when we were talking about those things, we never mentioned Seventh-day Adventist Church, but we were mentioning the Pathfinder Club. So the Pathfinder Club can function in any other church. The CPC can function. If in that CPC there's a child who's a Roman Catholic and there's a funeral for that child who's a Roman Catholic, if we go to the family and we speak to the family and they agree that we must come and do one or two things, we will go and do that. Because this person was part of us. And the other thing, when we go, other kids will see what we are doing. And when they see what we are doing, that is what our evangelism, it comes in there. For example, the director from Brakpan High School, she came to me and she said, Mtandazo, the people in that place where we did the funeral, even now, they can't close their mouth because of what we did during that during that funeral. In other words, we have a duty that is remaining as the Federation as Israel to go and speak to the pastor, and we say to that pastor, we want to come and start a CPC in this church. That's the answer that I can give you.
Powerful. I think he logged off. But yeah, I think it's clear. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we can go on and on and on. The last person I would ask, maybe Pastor Ramba, if you have your last words and then pray for us. Is he sleepy? Pastor
Thank you.
Ramba, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm still holding on. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for all the leaders, counselors, teachers, instructors who joined this session tonight. And we know that normally we end at 9 today. We pushed. I can even see the time now, it's late, and most of the people, they've logged out. We want to thank you in a special way for affording us an opportunity that we do this BST with you. Thank you so much. Thank you to the host, Notando. Thank you for the good work that you have done tonight. Thank you, Babu Mkhunu, who is the one organizing and leading us. And thank you so much to our two presenters, Ubabu Ramushe Siwela and Ubabu Ngono. Thank you so much for the presentations that you have shared with us, your experiences in the youth ministries. We thank you so much. May the good Lord bless you. Let's close our eyes as we pray. Our gracious and loving Father, our God who art in heaven, we come before thy throne, the throne of mercy, the throne of grace, thanking you for everything that you have done for us. Thanking you, Father God, for giving us presenters who shared their experiences with us. We are asking that, Lord, you bless them and their families. Father God, bless each and everyone who attended tonight's session so that tomorrow they can be better leaders. Father God, we are praying that, Lord, as we are about to sleep, you may sleep with us, O Lord, and protect us throughout the night. As tomorrow we'll be celebrating the Global Youth Day, dear Heavenly Father, we are asking that, Lord, be with us as we lead the young people. As we are bringing this hope in the cities, we are bringing this Jesus in the cities, and some of them will be planting trees. Dear Heavenly Father, we are asking that, Lord, you be the part of that project. We want to thank you, Lord, in a special way as we are about to sleep. The challenges that we had, technical glitches, we know that tomorrow it will be better as we will be continuing with our presentations. We thank you, O Lord, in a special way. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone.